What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the signing that the New York Giants made just about 2 hours ago. Would have had this video up earlier. I was at work, but the Giants brought in a guy that I was saying that the New York Giants should have signed last week. And that is Deonne Bucannon, the former inside linebacker of the Arizona Cardinals. This year he was with the Tampa Bay Bucks, and he's kind of a jack-of-all-trades player, and he fits the moneybacker role perfectly. As a matter of fact, he was Betcher's first moneybacker. He's the guy who made that role so popular. A guy that could play in a variety of ways. He could rush the passer, he could drop back in coverage. He stands at 6'1", 211 pounds. Now, of course, by making this move, there is a casualty on the New York Giants roster, and it's a player a lot of us were really rooting for. A guy I loved when we picked him up. Pittsburgh Steelers fans seem to be very upset that they let him go and he fell into the Giants' laps, and that is Tuzar Skipper, a kid that was undrafted who had a lot of potential, very strong kid. I think he had 5 sacks in the preseason there for the Steelers, so he will be released by the Giants, and the Giants now will bring in Deonne Bucannon. And we've all seen how Marcus Golden has played this year. And, of course, Marcus Golden thrived in the James Betcher system, and he's playing very well again this year for the New York Giants as he leads the team in sacks. The Giants, of course, are decimated with injuries at that middle linebacker position, and we weren't really strong there to begin with, being that Alec Ogletree and Tay Davis were our opening day starters. Conley, of course, now out for the year, who was showing some promise there at that position. But Skipper has been cut. Didn't really get a lot of opportunities with the Giants. I think he had a half a sack, and Bucannon has jumped aboard. Bucannon, of course, was cut by the Bucks and was signed there this year as a free agent. He's a guy that I thought the New York Giants should have taken a look at in free agency at a cheap price. Instead, they went with the veteran Antoine Bethea, who's playing that safety position. But what Bucannon will bring, in my opinion, is a linebacker that can help you in coverage. He's undersized, but the guy's a heavy hitter. He makes plays, and he hasn't made them recently. I'll say that. This year he didn't get to play at all. He had 1 tackle for the Bucks in the 5 games that he did play there. The year before, 2018, he definitely regressed with the Cardinals. But again, it wasn't the Betcher system, so maybe this is exactly what he needs. In 2015, he came onto the scene in his sophomore season, in which he had 109 total tackles, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 sacks. So the guy makes plays. And he was one of the most integral parts of that 2015 Arizona Cardinals defense, which was one of the top 4 or 5 defenses in the league, which is why basically James Betcher is the Giants defensive coordinator to begin with. So I'm sure Betcher's happy that we went out and got this kid, and he's probably going to think he can get the most out of him, being that he did in Arizona. Bucannon was a former first-round pick. I think he was 27th overall, and he'll bring that versatility to the Giants, something we desperately need. We've been getting killed in coverage on those crossing patterns across the middle, especially in that Vikings games. We all remember Adam Thielen tore us to shreds there with the crossing pattern. So he should help us there, and hopefully he's a good addition to the New York Giants. He can't be worse than what we've had out there, and I think he's going to help this defense. And he's still relatively young, only 27 years old, and maybe he'll be a part of this team for the foreseeable future. We'll have to wait and see. He does make sense with Betcher. Now, of course, if we were to let Betcher go after this year, maybe Bucannon does not make as much sense, because this seems to be the type of defense that fits his skill set. But for now, for the rest of the season, I think it's a great move by the Giants. My only question is, where was it last week when we needed as much help as we could get at that linebacker position? Of course, he's been on the open market now for 2 weeks since he was cut by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But at least better late than never. The Giants went out there and got themselves a player who should help the defense going forward. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.